black people. We've seen stories about, I guess, black people getting caught up in the illegal immigrant raids in Chicago. I'm gonna tell you, because none of your black leaders or black pundits or black media personalities, none of them are gonna tell you anything. So I'm gonna tell you, please stay out of the way of ICE. Let them do their jobs. Stay out of their way, because your lives are disposable under Democrat leadership. The same way they let you guys just kill each other and murder each other all day, every day in the streets, the same way they'll let you guys get murdered and be a casualty on behalf of an illegal immigration raid. In fact, more than likely, they're hoping that something like that happens so they can stir up an entire race of people. So, word of advice, stay out of the way. This has nothing to do with us. Let ICE do their job.
Ooh, this goes against the mainstream narrative. What? Now, we know this wasn't CNN or MSNBS right here. This ain't a right-wing think tank. It's just a black man from Chicago saying, hey, don't use us. All right? I'm not here to be toyed with. And that's where the panic starts for the Democrats. You know that, because the narrative was simple. ICE bad, orange man bad, protest good, protest, that's how they think. Stand in front, block the vans, and be loud. But when the very community you assume will show up as and say, this, yeah, I got your back, they looking like, this ain't our fight. It's not disagreement. That's a fracture. And I told you, we've been covering fractures this week. And Democrats, they don't know what to do with the fractures. And definitely when they're inside the coalition. Now, let's just keep this thing going.
I really thought when ICE came to Chicago, we was going to cut up how LA did. Or how Minneapolis did. But y'all want to know the reason why I feel like Chicago didn't cut up like that? And I'm choosing to do one of my political science papers on this for South America. And I'm going to do it on the mass migration of Venezuelans to Chicago. I feel like that migration desensitized like the city to immigrants. Like, we didn't feel bad about them not speaking English, because the Venezuelans, they came here by the bolo. And not only did they come by the bolo, they was getting hella money and leave, holding up that A office as mad job. I was working in security in the A office. When I say it was such a big difference from what the A office looked before they came and when they came, they come now getting $3,000-$4,000 on link and cash aid. They getting all type of aid from the government. Meanwhile, citizens, real citizens who pay taxes, was sitting there damn near begging for $100 a month in link. Like, you get what I'm saying? Man, y'all know black people talk shit, so everybody in the office, because it's two separate lines for the immigrants and the citizens, because it's like a million in their ass and outside the offices every morning. So the black people will notice, and they'll be like, all these motherfuckers here, because they getting this much money, and they getting this. I saw somebody leave a receipt with this balance on it. Like, they do a bunch of that, so everybody know or knew what the Venezuelans had going on. Everybody was getting enraged by it, though. Like, nobody was like, oh yeah, their country is literally inhabitable. They need to be here with us. We helping them with a sanctuary. Shit, they was thinking, okay, we get it, y'all got a fucked up country, but y'all fucking up our city, so go. Type shit. Like, they just didn't care. And again, like I said, they was supplying these Venezuelans and everything. These motherfuckers had cars and all. They was fucking people cars up. They kept getting accidents, and then you can't even communicate in English with these motherfuckers to get their insurance or shit, because they don't speak English. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That time, around that time, a year or two ago, for them full 2 years, it was bad. I really feel like that made Chicago people not give a fuck about immigrants. And I wish the shit ain't play out like that, because I really do feel like, if we understood what their country looked like, we understand why we had sanctuary cities to begin with. And another thing they was doing, they was coming over here with fucking ankle monitors and shit on. Like, you know how hard it is as a citizen to see somebody getting thousands of dollars and paid easily, and they not even a citizen, and they got the nerve to have on a house arrest ban. So you clearly a criminal, and regular American citizens can't get these same benefits that they asking for 10 times less than what you getting. I think that's why we didn't cut up for the immigrants, domestic immigrants. When I start coming here fucking shit up, at that point we just desensitized to immigrants completely, and that's fucked up even more. Okay, but I'm not gonna lie, the way Chicago handled being a sanctuary city for them was also fucked up. Y'all got starving Chicagoans, y'all got homeless Chicagoans. Why the fuck are y'all clearing out vacant buildings for Venezuelans? But all right.
Now it gets uncomfortable. 2 lines. Well, they're creating 2 lines, by the way. One for citizens and one for migrants. That's what's happening. Different outcomes, though. And here's what Democrats, for whatever reason, just don't seem to understand. You can preach compassion all day, but the moment people feel like they're last in line in their own city, hey, look, I'm gonna tell you straight up, the sermon it's not gonna work no more. From there, it just stops. It's over with. Chicago isn't some red state lab experiment. It's a deep blue sanctuary stronghold. And now you have the residents saying, "Hey, don't guilt trip us." Hey, what you talking about, my boy? That's not anti-immigration. That's anti-double standard. And if you built your entire brand on equality, you better not get caught running a two-tier system. That's all I'm saying, because perception, that becomes reality fast. Now, let's raise the stakes.
If we don't have laws in this country, then what are we following? Why are we subjected to laws as citizens if we're going to allow non-citizens to do whatever the hell they want to do and be protected? They have more protections than you do. And as a black man, I take offense to that because nobody was protecting us. No one has ever protected us. Foundational black Americans have always been the target of law enforcement. It's ICE agents' fault because they shouldn't have been trying to chase them. So we're just going to let people just break laws, commit crimes, and just run away and say, you know what? Sorry. What if he would have went out on a shooting spree? And then they were chasing them. What were they supposed to do? Stop? Hey, let them get away. I don't get y'all, man. If we don't have laws in this country, then what?
I mean, listen to what he said. I don't think that was hate. It was fairness. That's the word that keeps coming up. And this is what Democrats keep fumbling the ball. For decades, they keep telling us black Americans, the system is unfair. The system targets you. Now, suddenly, the argument is, trust the system. Which one is it? Because if citizens feel over police, but non-citizens feel under police, you created a resentment scenario. This is what happens when ideology outruns common sense. Now, let's go ahead and talk about consequences.
And moving now to Owensboro, where police have identified the suspect in Wednesday night's deadly hit and run. Officers tell us it's 21-year-old Anderson Zoll. Authorities say he left one person dead and another one hurt, and they say he later returned to the scene and was taken into custody. Our Bryce West spoke with the Owensboro Police Department to learn a little more. Take a listen.
Officials with the Owensboro Police Department say they responded to a wreck with injuries just after 8:30 last night. OPD officials confirmed that the suspect has been identified as Anderson Joel.
Witness described a vehicle that left the scene as a green passenger car with heavy front end damage. While the officers were still on scene, the vehicle returned, and the operator of the vehicle, Anderson Soul, was detained at the time.
Police say the incident happened right here on the southbound lanes of Frederica Street and Fulton Drive, where Joel hit two pedestrians trying to cross the street, one dying immediately on the scene, the other currently in the hospital in critical condition.
He has multiple injuries sustaining from the head to toe. To what extent at this morning, we haven't been able to find out yet.
Police say Joel is facing several charges, including murder, driving under the influence, leaving the scene of an accident, no operator's license, and assault of the first degree. Officers say they're still trying to determine if the pedestrians had the right of way.
The accident reconstruction unit is looking into that, and they were able to pull video from nearby locations. So we are able to kind of look at those videos and see what the light was and what other conditions may or may not have been affected for this collision.
Now, since we reported this yesterday, we've learned the name of the female pedestrian who was killed in this crash. She was identified by the coroner as 39-year-old Amanda Foster. Meanwhile, this morning, Anderson Zoll remains in the Davis County Jail on a $500,000 bond. Jail records also show he's being held for Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement Agents, or ICE, and he's scheduled to be arraigned a little bit later today.
Now, tragedy, it doesn't care about slogans. Tragedy doesn't care about social media. We have a woman that's dead. And here's the brutal reality. every time something like this happens, it doesn't just become a crime story. It becomes a policy story. And when sanctuary cities protect status over safety, people notice. You call that fear-mongering. You can call it manipulation. But voters call it risk. And when voters feel risk in their neighborhood, I'm just saying, they don't vote theory. They vote perception. Now, watch what happens when protests meet enforcement.
Why aren't you nice to people? Are you still mean and ugly? What are your children going to think of you? What are your children going to think of you, asshole? What are they going to think of you? What are your children going to think of you? Do you have children? Can you have children? Are you impotent? Are you impotent? Can you? That's not your path. That is not your path.
This is what Democrats wanted on camera. An 80-year-old attorney refusing to allow enforcement to do his job. Russian federal agents. Crowd screaming, cowards. Pepper spray flying. This isn't organized resistance. This is emotional chaos right here. And I got to say this part out loud. I got to say it every single time. Interfering with federal officers is a felony. Democrats keep trying to sell y'all this as some sort of righteous protest, but when it turns into street level disorder, suburban voters start checking Zillow. And that's when sanctuaries start sounding expensive. Now, let's hear the side of the Democrats real quick. Let's hear what their point on this is.
We have to abolish ICE. We have to abolish the Customs and Border Patrol in the way that they currently exist and replace them with something that actually does the work that we need for them to do, and that is effective at holding these people in this administration accountable. I'll tell you what the work is not. The work is not killing American citizens.
You said the work we need them to do. I'm interested in your opinion. What
Absolutely.
is the work that we need them to do?
Absolutely. One, the work is not killing American citizens.
No,
It's
what
not
is the work we need them to do?
Well, first, let's look at what they don't need to do. They don't need to go into communities like Memphis,
Do they need to
Tennessee,
deport illegal aliens?
where they're currently terrorizing
need
and
to deport
traumatizing
illegal
our
aliens?
communities. What we also need
Can
to
you
make
say
sure
it?
is that we have elected officials who are creating a pathway of opportunity for people who are currently undocumented.
Do
Because
we
the truth
need
of
a
the matter
federal
is,
law enforcement agency to deport illegal aliens, yes or no?
we do need a federal law enforcement agency that deals with immigration, that doesn't kill people.
deport illegal aliens,
What we
yes
do
or no?
also need is laws that make sure that people
Is
who
there
are
a single illegal alien
undocumented-
that you would deport?
You know, this is what I
Name
want you to focus
one.
on.
Is
This
there
what I
one?
want you to focus on. There are a lot of people in this country and
One.
in this community, in our communities,
Is there one?
that have done so much to make them better, and we need to be prioritizing
So the
how
answer
we
is
create
no?
opportunity.
Is
and
this the
access for
Democratic
them
position
to
for
be there.
26?
The
That there are
Democratic
no
position
illegal
in
aliens that should be
26
deported?
The Democratic position in 26 is that we don't terrorize American citizens, we don't terrorize undocumented
If you were
people,
advising
and we
Democrats in
don't kill
26, would you
people
advise
like
them to
Alex
answer this
Freddie
question
and
this
Renee
way,
Good.
that you can't say there is a single illegal alien that should be deported by the federal government?
What is shocking to me is that you think you can narrow the challenges of
It's not narrow, it's broad. There's 20 million
that you can
here.
challenge the issues of immigration into one yes or no question, when the reality is the policies and practices
should we follow
of
the law
this
is the yes or no
administration have led to the deaths of American citizens and has not produced
Let me
the
let
results
someone
that
else
No
get in.
deportations. That's
Go
the
ahead.
Democratic position.
Abolish ICE. Tools of white supremacy. Put ICE under arrest. That's the language, man. And this is why moderate Democrats are sweating right now, because when your loudest voices sound like abolition activists, you force everyone to defend something extreme. Which brings us to this.
Regarding the headline that you referenced there, I quite literally on my social, I put that out. I used that, and I said that online. I said, this is one of the reasons why I will always to shut our government down. I refuse to do that because that really clearly that damaged our economy now too. And I was one of only other 2 Democrats that refused constantly to shut our government down. And here we are now. We really, I was now the only Democrat to refuse that. And all the Democrats, we agree that we want to have some reforms on ICE. But this would have none of that involved in it. This shutdown was nothing more than people that are afraid of the base to just explain to them that shutting down the entire DHS will have no impact or make those kinds of reforms for ICE. And now we need to make sure that those resources are there. And I refuse to put the workers through now not getting paid for the second time in the last 2 or 3 months. America deserves more, and we should be able to count on keeping our government open. And now when you have a disaster like the sewage or a storm or anything, FEMA needs to always be ready. And now why I can't, it's just indefensible to shut down the DHS, especially because it's not going to accomplish the kinds of goals and reform.
It's not impacting ICE.
There it is. Democrat Fetterman. He's saying they shut down, the shutdown has nothing to do with ICE. They're afraid of their own base, y'all. America deserves more. That's what I'm hearing. Your own senator is calling out that performance, that's panic. Sanctuary cities aren't collapsing because of Republicans. They're wobbling because the internal coalition is cracking. Black Americans, I said, don't use us. You got residents out here saying, we see the double standards, and moderates saying, this is political theater. Democrats tried to turn ICE into a moral purity test, right? Instead, they turned it into a stress test. And stress test, they're going to reveal the weak points. This isn't left versus right, y'all. This is reality versus narrative. And right now, reality is winning. If citizens feel last in line, if tragedies keep stacking, if protests keep spiraling, if political math changes, not because of fear, but because of frustration, and frustration votes. All I want you to do is comment the word panic. Yeah, just do that for me. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.